I just got back from pitching myself to a generous sponsor who has offered to let us use half of their industrial space of their office for us to open up our game lounge. Now, this has been processed through, like, when I first started this, I have always wanted to have a physical. This has been a very long process. When I first came up with this idea of having a board game lounge where we can all hang out, play games, it's really cute and feminine, and it just feels very safe. I pictured this being my own space. The entire space is mine. I could do whatever I want with it, and decorating it that way. This sponsor was very generous, just offering like, hey, I really like what you're doing, and I really believe in what your journey and what you're trying to do. I have a space you guys can use, but we are still using it. We can make this a shared space where you can use like half of it for your business, and then my business will still be there. And I had to like mourn the idea of being like, oh, I wanted my own space, and it's really hard. But I just kind of romanticized having my own space. So wrapping my head around being like, okay, this is a shared space. I need to consider different things, and I need to be able to kind of shut down, clean up, put everything away every night because the office will be there the next day. I talked with my partner. We went over a few options, and I was like, you know what? This is a good challenge for me to think outside the box, because I have friends who are they're all women in business, and they also own small businesses, and two of my friends closed their doors just this year in 2026, and it's really disheartening to see that, you know, that's their dream, is opening a physical spot. So in this economy, I know it's hard, right? I love the romance of opening a space, and it's really cute and fun, but things cost money, and it makes it real. When I'm hosting a game night just in another venue, a cute little cafe spot, I'm not paying rent. I'm not paying any utilities. I charge for people buy tickets to come to game night. I have other expenses like buying board games, maintenance, marketing, all that stuff. But yeah, on top of that, to also have to pay rent, utilities, is very different. It is a different business idea, and for me, it's a lot more pressure. Right now, I'm kind of like in this, yes, it's hard, but I guess I know it can be harder. So as much as I love the idea of opening my own space by myself, figuring it out, I'm aware that that is not easy. There's a lot of fear behind opening it. It's kind of scary, right? It becomes real. And what I don't want is when I do open and I have people coming in, this extra pressure to be like, please come to my place. Like, it could be really fun. Like, I don't want my energy to change. I'm hoping it doesn't, but to change with all the additional stress I'll have as a full-time business owner who owns their own spot. So when we were offered this by a generous sponsor, they were like, yeah, you guys can totally use half your space. I'm open to your ideas. Why don't you get a pitch together? Tell me what you're thinking, and we'll go from there. And I was like, okay. So we went, I looked at the spot. We checked out the layout and everything outside, inside. I completely made this PowerPoint of two different concepts I have to propose. One is, which is leaning towards my favorite, it's called the Secret Garden, because I want it to be like when you walk in, it's like a garden, right? And my second concept is just a cozy lounge, which is more like moody, speakeasy vibes, lush string lighting, things like that. That's what I came in with. I felt very good about it. My partner also had to do more of like the finance side of everything. I learned a lot in this pitch meeting, the way that they think, because the two business owners that we talked to, they've had a business for decades. So the way that they think is different than how I think. I've been doing this for a little over a year. So it was really interesting to see them bounce ideas off each other and find solutions, and then give me a bunch of things I never even thought of that is very important to have in business. So coming from that meeting, I learned so much, and it's really made me think about, all right, I really need to get like on the molecular level, like real specific in detail what I'm wanting. Yes, when you come in, I want you to feel safe and welcoming in the safe space, right? But that will bleed into all the little things I didn't think about that create that energy, right? I know how I want it to feel, how do I make that? And that goes into more than what kind of rugs I'm going to have, the seating, the tables, the color, light options. I want a lot of plants. I think that'd be really cute. But then there's things like, am I going to repaint the entire space? Sound in there. This space is quite large. And when you're talking on one end, you can hear someone like their phone ring on the other end, or even like soft music playing. So I need to be aware of that, right? The sound in there, because if we're all playing games, there's going to be laughter, it's going to be fun, but I don't want it to be so much that it's either overstimulating or you can't hear me explain the games to you. So that's something to be aware of. Like, how much is that going to cost to soundproof a large area? Or in my decorations in building this, what are types of plants or fabric or coverings that I can incorporate into my design that can help absorb sound, but also it's still cute, you know? So it's interesting to kind of break apart what I thought was a complete idea and be like, yeah, I love your idea, but have you thought of this? So that's where I'm at right now. I do want to share specific things that I did learn from that pitch meeting in another video. But for right now, I'm just like swimming with ideas and trying to figure out solutions on how we can make this work. Because of this sponsor, like, this is very generous. I'm very lucky. They are willing to let us kind of try this idea out. They're like, you know, I know it takes time to set up, create it, get everything there. Day one, you open. Now this is when the testing starts, right? Do people want to come to this area? Are people going to leave their house to come hang out with you? Are they going to pay to leave their house to pay to see you to hang out and play games? Like, this is all things where it's like, I can be like, yeah, a bunch of people are going to love it and we're going to have fun, we're going to play. But if that doesn't actually happen, if I have 1 to 2 people coming a day, that's not sustainable. And normally when you open up your own business, they expect rent. Like, I think you put a down payment on, you pay your first month rent. Next month is due in 4 weeks, whether you have 1,000 people come that month or 3 people. So with this spot, they are willing to let us, like, they're not going to charge us for us setting up part. And since this place is like half their space and it's vacant, I can just come in throughout the day, ideally, and start setting up things. So that's already lifted up a bunch of weight off my shoulders, because there's no like, we have to open on this date. There will be a deadline, but it's not like, I'm not going to feel like I'm losing money every day that we're not open. I don't want to have that energy. And I know that's a privilege as well. So this is an amazing opportunity. I'm hoping it's going to work out. They really liked our ideas. They gave me a lot to think about. I give them a lot to think about. I will keep you all updated on if this is going to work. It is in Salt Lake City. It's kind of like a hidden spot, which is why I was going with the secret garden vibes. I just think like having flowers, I like color and things like that. So I was hoping like the way to make this feel cohesive is like if we're in a garden, but I have different flowers, right? If I have like sunflowers over here and weeping willow flowers, I think that's what they're called. It's not gonna clash. Instead of me being like, this one's gonna be yellow and this room's gonna be purple and this room's gonna be pink, because I do that a lot too, just throwing colors at everything. So I think this will be a good way to contain my creativity in this one niche of a garden. That's where I'm at. I'll keep you all updated. I learned a lot. I'm really excited if this works out. Even if it doesn't, I'll still let you know. I have a lot of notes to write down. So until then, I will see you later.